All right, y'all. I'm about to get on up out of here, but as I always wrap up the show with my favorite talk is about stocks. Welcome back to the Meet You from the Midwest podcast. I'm your first millionaire from the Brooks bloodline. That is something I stand on. That is something that is going to happen very soon. But until then, I'm gonna continue learning the stock game and bringing the information I know and get it to y'all. And hopefully, y'all get invested and start creating generational wealth for your kids and for your family, man. So we can all have that extra income and have time to ourselves to spend the life we live, traveling, enjoying life with our loved ones. Dolo, however you feel, you got to do it. But that's all it's about, man. Having that extra income. And I just want to give y'all the stock updates for this week and tell y'all just a couple reasons why you should be investing. This week, well, last week and this week, it's kind of been a down week. I told y'all it was close to 3K. It has recently dropped back under 3K due to how the stock market goes, and that's one of the things. I'll get into that in a second. But as far as the stocks go, S Gold is $19.13. Wells Fargo is $51.24. Bank of America is $33.97. Amazon is $168.97. And my top stock is $182.14. Now, what I wanted to say about when it comes to investing, I can see a reason. One of the reasons why people don't invest or they're scared to invest is because of the red and the green. And let me break that down to you. If you look at the stock market, when you see it's green, that means that the stock is doing good, that it's going up, it's making you money. When you see red, that means that something is happening, that the stock is going down. Usually, like if a lot of people, a lot of investors are taking shares out, selling those shares, that price is going to drop down. Um, People do option plays and stuff like that. I don't know much about option plays, but I've read that like once a lot of people start doing option plays and they're pulling and taking money out of certain stocks and moving to other stocks, that makes the stocks go up and down. But one thing I will say about the stocks is the more you do your research, the easier it will be for you. Now, I haven't did all of my research because I know I can learn so much more. I learn something new every day about stocks. But from the research that I know now, I know that I have at least 15 stocks that I can literally have right now, and I can continue to invest in them for longevity and continue to invest in them, and those are going to build me build me a solid portfolio and get me all the dividends and all the increases that I want. Now, I wanted to say one thing I learned out this book that I understanding stocks, and that was when you're investing into a stock. Let's say for Apple, if Apple is at 180, if Apple was to drop to like 130 or something like that, if you look at the way that the stock is broke down, they break it down by the day, the week, the month, the 3 months, a year, and 5 years. If you look at that, if you get up to a year, if you look at the year to date, and that stock is down 10%, if it goes down 10%, 9 times out of 10, that stock is no good for you. It's not working well, so it's one of those stocks that you just need to get your money and go. Now, if your stock is what I do is I invest in a stock that has been performing well over the last year to 5 years, anywhere between a year and 5 years. If it's been performing well and continue to increase or staying at a certain type of price and continue to grow, that's the stock that you want to look into. So that's when you're reading a stock chart, that's something that you need to look for. How has this stock been performing? Like I said, you could go with any company that you want to invest in. Look at the company, look at what the price is, look at how it performs, all the way up to the year to date of 5 years, the max, however long it's been around. And that's the type of stock you want to invest into. If it's under 10%, those are the stocks you want to stay away from. If it's been in the negative for over a year or over a couple of months, usually not a couple of months, but if it gets to a year and this stock is under 10%, those are the ones you want to avoid. So that is one thing I learned. I just wanted to pass that on to y'all. I don't want to confuse y'all, but this I'm just learning the way that I'm learning stocks. That's the way I'm going to relate it to you. So another thing I wanted to say is why people are so scared to invest in stocks is because what I've already said. They believe that when you people look at stocks as I just want to win, I just want to win money, but at some point you got to lose money too. It might not, it might be a little, it might be a lot, but the more you invest in the correct and the right companies that you do your research on, you have potential to get more gains than losses, and that's what it comes down to. My example for the week I wanted to use is when you buy, think of the things that you love. Now, I'm not talking about survival mode. Now, I'm not talking about food or stuff like that. But in a way, I am talking about food. If you spend a lot of money, if you spend $200 weekly on fast food, instead of just going to the store and prepping for the week, having your meals, what you plan on cooking at home, out the way, you can save a lot more money. But if you go and spend $200 out, let's say you go to Texas Roadhouse, you go to McDonald's, you go to Starbucks all through the week, and you look at your bank account and you spend $200 on food and drinks, you are going to be full for that moment. That's going to get you by for that to the next meal. But you just wasted that money because for one, a lot of this food that we're going out buying got a lot of sugars, a lot of calories, and it forces us to gain weight. Now that pushes me into the next thing I want to speak on. When you come to like buying clothes, buying shoes, stuff like that, if you go out there and buy, let's say you buy a pair of Jordans, because that's the mecca for black people. If we go out there and buy a pair of Jordans, I got a pair of Jordans the 11s upstairs. They like $250. I probably wore them 3 times. Those shoes are literally upstairs collecting dust for $250. If I was to invest a certain stock, like for example with Apple, if Apple is $184, if I buy a stock each week, the more stocks I buy, that is a stock that has dividends attached to it. So each quarter that those, if I have 10 stocks, I will get paid 10 times whatever the dividend cost is. It could be a couple of quarters, but when you look at the long run of things, if those 10 stocks turn into 100 stocks, if you got 100 stocks, you're gonna that times the 25 or 50 cent. That can mean that you can go from averaging getting as far as the dividends, if you were getting about 20 $30 every quarter from just owning this stock, to if you have 100 shares and you're getting $250 every quarter, which relates to what, 250, 250, 500, 750, 1,000. That's $1,000 extra that you're making off just having shares tucked away. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are not ready to risk putting money into the stock market, but they're willing to risk going to buy shoes or buying clothes that they're only going to wear a couple of times. And after they get, after you gain weight or lose weight, you got to either give these clothes away or you're going to try to sell them. And 9 times out of 10, nobody's buying no war shit. When it comes to shoes, it's a little different because you could, with Jordans, you can go sell them if they're in good condition. But if those shoes not in, if you wearing the shit out them shoes every day, it has no value to it. So why not put your money somewhere that you can make money off of those stocks, and it help you in the long run. That money could be, if like, even let's talk about shoes. If you buy the Nike, if you buy a Nike stock, instead of having a pair of $150 shoes, and if you continue to buy stocks over here every year, you can wait to the end of the year, and with whatever how many stocks you got in Nike shares, if you got, let's say you make $2,000 off your shares, right? You got $2,000 of Nike shares right here. You need some brand new shoes. You can sell your Nike shares, take that money, and go buy you a brand new pair of shoes versus just paying straight out of pocket, buying some shoes, and then being out of a couple of hundred just because you want a new pair of shoes. Once you got that money in the stock market, you kind of stop paying attention to it because once the money start growing, you like, all right, I'm gonna just keep on letting it grow. I'm gonna keep putting on to it. But like that's the difference. I hope if y'all understanding what I'm saying is that you can make more money in the stocks than what you can buying stuff that you want. What you need to do is invest for your future. You want to have your money set aside. I broke this down to a couple of friends earlier today. when it comes to the stocks, man, it's not really all about me. I have a daughter. She's about to be 5 this year. My goal is to in the next when she's able to drive and when she graduate high school, I want to be able to look at my stocks and say, damn, I got 300K right here. Let me give her 100K. So instead of her going to college and having to go stay in a dorm here, go ahead and buy you a little apartment or buy you a little condo for now. Buy you a brand new car so you don't have to worry about paying a car note. That money is already set aside for her future. And once I put her on the game and she start to learn stocks, because I'm gonna pass this down to her, then she puts herself in a position that one day when she has kids, they can continue to repeat this cycle. Because my goal as a man is to break the cycle that I had. Before me, my mom, my dad, they were not able to put me in a position to where I can just go out and on my 18th birthday, damn, I got a brand new car. I didn't get my own car until I was 22 years old. I was in relationships with people with women that had cars, and it was like, well, shit, since she driving, I don't need it. But then as a man, it's like, dog, I can't keep on having a woman chauffeur me around. I got to be able to say, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna take you out on a date and stuff. Not, hey, can you come over here and pick me up? Like relying on somebody. So that's what it comes down to, man. What are you really investing in? What should you be invested in? Where does your money go? That's all I can say, man. I hope I start getting my point across when it comes to the stock game, because it's an easy game, but it's a game that you got to be willing to play, man. You can either continue to try to impress people, or you can build your wealth up. So once you get so much money that you ain't worried about what nobody's saying, you should be in a position where you can get anything you want financially. And the more financially stable you are, the easier it is to go through life, not having to worry about where your money gonna be for the next bill, not worrying if you gotta go in and go do all this overtime just to get enough for Christmas. So I know I'm all over the place, man, but I just really want y'all to tap into investing. I know investing's been around for a long time, but coming up from the black community, this was something I was never taught. Nobody never sat down with me and said you need to be investing in stocks. If I would have knew this at the age of 18 when I got out of high school, then I could have been sitting on shit almost 800K by now, close to $1 million or something like that by now. But I don't know it. I'm just now learning it. I learned it last year, and everything I'm learning, I'm willing to continue to teach people and bring light to it, man. So that's all I got for this week, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. If you ain't invested into stocks, download the Robinhood app that's in my bio, well, in the description. Like, share, and subscribe, man. If you got any questions about stocks, I'm willing to tell you everything I know about it. I've been reading books on it. I'm starting to get a better understanding on stocks. So, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Meet you from the Midwest Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.